Hey, it's Tesla Canuck here, back with another video. I do this video series once in a while where if I'm in an interesting place, I will take a drive through with the Tesla, mount the cameras, and give you guys something to look at. I happen to be in Niagara Falls, Canada today, so we're going to be taking this road, which is called River Road, and it's going to lead us right down into where the falls are. So I've got a GoPro mounted to the top of the car, so hopefully we'll get a decent perspective of what it is like to kind of drive through here, approaching Niagara Falls. And there's also something really interesting. There's a statue of Nikola Tesla, and it's I believe it's going to be on this road, and it's going to be down closer to where the falls are. So we're going to try to point that out. I'm going to try to point that out. I'm the only one in the car. Yeah, so that's going to be really cool, I think, to see. The history here as it relates to Nikola Tesla is, I believe it was sometime in the 1890s, mid-1890s, where Nikola Tesla was here. I guess he was overseeing one of his inventions in terms of alternating current. Previously, direct current is what was used for electricity, and about transporting electricity from, I believe it was Niagara Falls to Buffalo. And this was going to be, I guess, the first time energy was transmitted, or electricity was transmitted over a long distance. And so anyhow, that's what he was here doing. And obviously, as history tells us, it was a successful thing. So I guess hence why there's a statue here. So I thought it would be very interesting to tie Nikola Tesla into my channel, the namesake for obviously the brand of car that I'm driving here today, a Tesla. And yeah, it's always great to explore history. So we are probably 2 kilometers, I would say, at this point in time from the falls, and we should be approaching it shortly. I'll chime in periodically if there's something I want to point out, or something historical or something like that, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video. So up ahead here, there's a bridge. That's a bridge from Niagara Falls, the city in Canada, across to Niagara Falls, New York, on the other side of the Niagara River, which is that way to my left. This bridge is typically less busy. I went to school around here, so I used to go across the river all the time. That's the bridge I always used. It never seemed to be too busy. So, okay, now we're getting into Niagara Falls, Canada. The town. It's changed a lot over the years. First time I was here, I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years old. I've been here a number of times through my childhood, through my teenage years, my education. And it's really changed. So you can see all these tall buildings, the casinos, all this type of stuff. It was not here, back in my day. So I'd say it's just been in the last maybe 15, 20 years that we've seen a real change in how Niagara Falls, Canada is looking. So with tourists, I guess tourism is growing, and Hence, there was a construction boom, all that kind of good stuff. The tower that you see over there, it's called the Skylon Tower. It was built a few years prior to the CN Tower in Toronto. The CN Tower in Toronto for, I think, 30 years was the world's tallest freestanding structure. So this one right here is probably maybe a little less than half of the height of the CN Tower in Toronto, and it was built prior to the CN Tower. So just a little tidbit there. And back in my day, this was the only thing that you could really see in terms of the skyline of Niagara Falls. We're just passing Clifton Hill. Clifton Hill is the kind of what I would call the tourist trap of excuse me, Niagara Falls. It's very much like going to Vegas, where you have Madame Tussauds and Ripley's Believe It or Not, and just those type of entertainment venues. To my left is the American Falls, and yeah, that's the American Falls. What can I say? I believe Niagara Falls is one of the original seven wonders of the world. Wow, I just could not get that out. What we are approaching, coming up, you can't really see it because of the mist. Oh, it's kind of coming into view now, is Horseshoe Falls, and that's on the Canadian side, and it's basically shaped like a horseshoe. If you haven't been in Niagara Falls and haven't stood next to the falls, it's really something else, because you can almost feel the thunder in your chest with the water going over the edge there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna switch lanes here for a moment. Right, a lot of pedestrian traffic. Obviously, you got to be careful coming through here. And there, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Hopefully, the camera is picking that up on top of the car and giving you a decent view of the Horseshoe Falls, which I actually prefer from a visual perspective. Right up there to my right, that I believe is the statue of Nikola Tesla. And I took a photograph of it last night, so I'll also kind of put that up on the screen because it's hard to see because of the way the hill goes. But yeah, that was the statue back there. And basically, once you get beyond this point here, you've kind of seen everything. That's it. That's the claim to fame. So that claim to fame is the end of this video. Actually, you know what? Let me just take you up a little bit further and see if we can get a view of the river as it leads up to the actual falls. We might not be able to because of all the trees and whatnot. Another interesting fact is that the water you see coming over the falls, okay, there you can see the rapids there, pretty intense. What people don't know is that we're only seeing about 10% of the water volume that would normally be occurring, because some of the water is diverted, obviously, for the hydroelectric plant, that type of stuff, and they also regulate the flow because of erosion. So if they let Niagara Falls just basically cascade over the cliff, at full volume of water, the erosion would push back the falls pretty quickly. I saw a documentary on it, and they kind of talked about what if they didn't regulate the flow. So that's it. All right, so that concludes this video. Tesla Canuck, over and out.